pretty tough to be here late in the game like this today because so many people have shared so many great things. And I don't know how I can hold up to that. Plus, I'm not used to speaking in front of people. I'm used to talking to sharks and talking to people underwater. So we're going to practice a couple of things, okay? So if I go like this, what does that mean? Good. Okay, good. Thank you. So the theme this year is awake and aware, and I think it's pretty safe to assume that everybody here is aware of sharks. You know, they might not be in your everyday life, but it's hard not to be aware of sharks because you read about them, you see them on television, and they're actually your neighbors in a way that you might not expect. So they occupy 68% of our planet in the oceans, and sharks live in every ocean, in every depth, and every temperature. So there are even rumors that some of them are in Lake Michigan. You laugh, okay, but bull sharks can live in fresh water. They navigate up rivers and into lakes and into ponds. They are not in the Great Lakes yet. They can't quite make it that far, but you never know. One day that might happen. And if it does, don't be afraid, because they don't want to eat you. They will eat your lovely brown trout. So sharks, we're going to assume, live in the ocean. And the shark that most people are familiar with and like to see is the great white shark, because they're kind of like celebrities. I'm going to show you a clip. We shot it at 500 frames per second in New Zealand. So actually, that shot was an accident. The cameraman was cleaning their lens on the back of the dive boat, dipping the camera in the water, and it had pre-record. So the shark came, he got the shot, end of that. There are 400 or so species of sharks around the world, and most of them no one will ever see, including me. But there are a couple that people really are familiar with and are aware of, and the next little clip is from Colombia, a place called Mapelo Island, means bald head. And it's very remote, it's very hard to get to. And what you're gonna see is a species of shark that's really alien and almost gone from our oceans. And they're just now making a comeback thanks to the Colombian environmental efforts. Hammerheads are really scary to most people. They look alien, they look, you know, very demonic, but they're very timid, they're very shy, they're very docile. They don't go after people at all. And most sharks don't. People are afraid of sharks, and we're going to get into that in a second, but what we know that they're important to the ecology of the ocean. You might not know exactly why that is, and I'm going to also tell you that in a minute. I'm not a scientist, I'm a filmmaker. I'm a natural history filmmaker and observer, and over 20 some years, I get asked to do a lot of shark shows, come up with ideas, find ideas, film sharks doing things, get behavior, And behavior is a challenge because sharks are fish and they swim. That's what they do. 99% of their lives, they swim. And you know, the network will say, well, did you get them doing anything else? No. Well, what did they do, like, after you shot that? They swam. And how about the next day? Swam some more. So networks want predation because that's what everybody thinks sharks do. Sharks go around the oceans killing and eating everything, whether it's bigger than they are, smaller than they are, especially people. If people are in the water, they go after those first. And that simply isn't true. But we are always tasked with getting predation because that is what audiences have been conditioned to expect on shark shows. And it's exciting and it gets the adrenaline pumping, but it also fuels the fear of sharks. And that started 40 some years ago with Jaws. And I know both Peter Benchley and Steven Spielberg have expressed to me, Peter in the past, that they're sorry about their part in the shark pogrom that has taken place since that film. But it did create a hysteria about big sharks in the water just waiting to pick people off. And a lot of sharks were killed because of Jaws. And so when you take sharks out of an ecosystem, it opens the door for other things to move in. And those things are often much scarier than sharks. So Bob Cranston, whom I lost a couple years ago, was an amazing friend and cinematographer. And I filmed a lot of sharks for National Geographic. Lots of sharks, 6-gill sharks, white sharks, hammerhead sharks, every shark you can think of. And then we went down to the Sea of Cortez at night in a little panga boat with some fishermen. And we realized these Mexican fishermen were really afraid. But they weren't afraid of sharks. They were afraid of something else. So first I'm going to introduce you to Bob, and then we'll get into, I don't have any power on this. But now I do. Okay, let's meet Bob quickly.
I don't know who invited all the sharks off the back end of the boat, but I guess we're going to go down and find out.
So that was Bob. Did a lot of films together. And when we were down in the Sea of Cortez, back in about 2000, in these little boats at night, the fishermen told us that the Kraken lived down in the depths, and they were pulling fishermen off their boats, and they called them los Diablos Rojos, the red devils. And what they were and are Humboldt squid, and their mantles can grow to about 6 feet long. They only live 13 months, and during that time, a female will lay 20 million eggs. And when those eggs hatch, in a month or two, those baby squid are voracious predators, and they just decimate the fish stocks anywhere that they happen to be. So sharks are selective predators. The squid, they eat everything. Howard Hall, good friend and good friend of Bob's, gave this next clip to show you what happens to a place when you remove sharks. Squid would actually get on us when we were diving, and it would take 2 people to pull them off of whoever was in the water. They're really strong, and they're still down there. They get fished now as well, so hopefully a balance is being restored. But squid are very common as our other mid-sized predators in the ocean, and white sharks, for example, are not so common. I think they're pretty rare. Scientists say that they are increasing in numbers. I don't know if that's true. I mean, maybe more people have drones and cell phones and other things, and they're seeing them where they've always been. I don't know. And they've always been there, and they've never bothered anyone, but now that we're seeing them, of course, big alert. So we're not sure. They're still mysterious. And what we do know is that they live about 80 years, a great white shark. They start out at about 4 feet, 3 to 4 feet, and it takes 25 years for a great white shark to become an adult. It takes a squid 2 months. Okay. And during the first 12, 13 years of a great white shark's life, it only eats fish. And then slowly, after about 12 feet, it starts to transition to marine mammals like seals and elephant seals and sea lions. Less on the sea lions, more on the seals. But to get really big and to be an adult great white shark, you have to be really careful about what you eat. You can't just go charging up to an elephant seal and get it, okay? Because it wants to fight back and it might get you. So what they normally do is they will come up, have a little bite, an exploratory bite, and then they'll back off and they'll wait and see if that meal is going to be successful for them. They don't want to get injured, and they typically do target the weak and the old and the slow. So don't swim around seal colonies. That's my only advice, okay? I'm going to show you, I hope this is the right clip. I changed things around a little bit. Show you a clip that shows a great white in action that we filmed. That shark took about 3 days to get that seal. So, and then another shark came and wanted to share, and it was hard work. It was hard work for that shark. So even if sharks are not a part of your daily life, like they are mine, you can't help but hearing about them in the media, and it's almost always bad press. It's almost always like, oh, ate this guy in South Africa. Went after a boogie boarder over here, you know. Chihuahua fell off the kayak, no more Chihuahua. And so that's kind of unfair. Like, that's really unfair to the sharks because they're just being sharks. I mean, they're just kind of just being who they are. And we want to blame everything on them. A lot of our information comes from Shark Week, a Discovery, which is probably the biggest TV event after the Super Bowl, that would be my guess. I mean, everybody's like, Shark Week, Shark Week. And so this year we're actually producing a film for Shark Week that is a true scientific expedition. It's powered by female scientists, female white shark scientists, and it's about pregnant great white females. And we got the most incredible discovery, which I'm not allowed to tell you, but if you watch in July, you'll find out. But I do have a clip here that they are letting me show you about how ferocious this shark was with our scientists. I mean, absolutely the most incredible interaction. Oh, wait, this is Discovery. First, we're going to watch this. Discovery Shark Week. Sorry.
Shark Week starts Sunday, June 26th. It's all shark and awe on Discovery.
How do you compete with that, right? Okay, so here's our scientist having a up-close and personal encounter with a 17-foot pregnant great white shark. This footage has
But she
never
started
been
to go deep,
broadcast.
so I thought that was my chance. So I went very close to her. But when I put the clamp in the feet, she felt it. She went away.
Okay, he chased her for an hour, and this shark just wanted to get away. She was like, please, no. No more scientists, go away, don't touch me. Okay, it's like, just turn around and bite him. She's like, no, I can't do that. So we had a lot of that, okay? And yes, we do get out of the cage sometimes and dive with them because they actually don't want to eat us. They're like, well, maybe me, because I'm like the fattest seal of the crew, but the guys are kind of stringy and they're just like, nah, not worth our time. One of our goals as filmmakers is to change the perception people have of sharks. Because they're pretty, they have a grim reputation, and again, I don't think it's deserved at all. You know, we kill more of them, 30 million sharks annually, than they kill people, which is 4 or 5 worldwide every year. Accidents, okay? But when us killing sharks, that's not an accident at all. That's not just for fins and soup in Asia. It's pure malice some of the time. And sharks belong in the ocean. It's not our ocean, it's theirs. And they need to live there so that that ocean is healthy for the people and the other species and everybody who depends on the ocean for a great deal of their food and their economy and their travel and other things, their weather. Because sharks are also victims of climate change. It's a little indirect, but when glaciers melt, sea levels rise, the ocean becomes less salty. And fish don't like that, so they move. And when the fish move, the seals and sea lions move, and the sharks move. So they either follow the fish to saltier water or they look for new prey. So we have to stop our temperatures from going up, or the sharks might get mad. I mean, they're not mad yet. They're just letting us know that there's a problem, okay? Really. So our goal is to undo some of the damage that people like me and other filmmakers, television, magazines, the news have done to sharks since Jaws, and it's pretty serious damage. And what you can do is be aware of that damage, and you can ask yourself when you see a shark show or you read an article about a shark attack, what's really going on here? What was the person doing? Is it the shark's fault? Was that shark out looking for a human victim? Probably not so much, okay? And they're our neighbors, they're your neighbors. They might not ever be your friends, but they are your neighbors, our neighbors. And we all share this planet together. So we have to find a way to live together and respect each other and accept that we all belong here. And I hope we all stay here. Thank you very much.